Welcome to this new edition of Today's Youth. In this edition, we'll be talking about Maktabti, which is a project that targets educating young females how to read and giving them some experience in life. And we'll be meeting with one of the founders of this project right after the break. A recent study showed that if female employment rates were to match rates Egypt's national output, GDP could boost by 12%. Amazing work has been done to provide high-quality basic education to young ladies as well as knowledge gateway through a equipped library in order to an orphanage in Cairo. Gap analysis has revealed that most of the girls in primary grades have not acquired sufficient reading skills through their schooling. Maktabti is an initiative conducted by several young volunteers who have taken action to conduct weekly reading sessions as well as provide tutoring to young girls in a fun and creative learning environment. The sessions also include art classes, believing that art is a basic form of personal expression which deserves to be influenced. Welcome back, and we're joined today by Hoda Al-Imbabi, Project Maktabti Leading Officer. Thank you for joining us, Hoda.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Hoda, we would like to start by introducing yourself, your education, and your line of work.
My name is Hoda Al-Imbabi, and I've studied economics, and I work as an economic researcher at a research center that promotes academic research in the Arab region.
Hoda, I understand that you studied abroad, right? You've been to the London School of Business, I guess?
Yeah, London School of Economics. I did a Master's of Science in Economics at the London School of Economics. I traveled for a year, did my Master's, and then came back to work here in economics as well.
Right. Why did you choose that field of education?
I was actually between business and economics when I first joined the university because I didn't know which one I prefer. So I took classes from both majors, but then I found that economics affects every other different field in life. Like, it affects education, it affects politics, it affects everything. And I found it more interesting, and it's closer to science, so I could see myself giving more in economics.
Did studying economics shape up your career?
Definitely. Like, now I'm working as an economic researcher, so I write papers and I try to publish work on different economic topics in the region, and it also shaped the way I think, I guess, because like, when you think as an economist, you keep on measuring the costs and benefits of everything, and like, you see life differently. You know, understand what happens in the country, why are prices increasing, why we have high unemployment, and like different things. So
right. What did you choose to study abroad?
I thought it was a good opportunity. Like, I decided to apply for a master's abroad because education at the end, like the London School of Economics is one of the top schools in economics in the world. So like, I decided to apply there to get the best education I could have, and then to return to my country and serve it.
When did you start social work? When did you start? I mean, was that very early in your school years, or when you after you graduated? When was the social work part of your life?
I started social work at school, actually, because part of my school's requirements to graduate was to do community service. So since the very early ages, we had community service programs at school, and we used to work with people with disabilities, refugees, restoring medical centers, and like, every year we used to have a big project on which we work. And then at the university, I joined also some clubs that serve the community, and I also joined an independent community service club after that, and that's what I'm doing now.
Right. Was service or social work encouraged by your family or by your school at the beginning?
At the beginning, it was encouraged by my school, and then I enjoyed it. I think it gives a sense of satisfaction, and it's important for every one of us to think of serving his or her country or community or even neighbors and friends, so that we give back to our community.
Right. What different social activities did you start with?
I don't remember like everything that we used to do at school, but one of the things I worked on, for instance, was to make a game using the Braille technique for the people with disabilities, like people who can't see. So that's one of the things I worked on. We renovated a medical center at school, so we used to go there and clean it. We also raised funds for that so that we could provide the center with medical equipment. And now, at the service center, service club that I'm working or that I'm volunteering in, we work on projects for Ramadan. Like we do Ramadan bags, and we give people iftar and suhoor, and we also work on solar energy. We work on development, and Maktabti is one of our biggest projects this year. So
right. In most countries, education and, of course, employment is offered to both genders, males and females. Did you find through your social work that here in Egypt, education and employment is not offered to both genders equally?
From my work, I know that unemployment rates for females are much higher than males.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is because of education, but even educated, I'm not sure about the illiteracy rates, but I think that both men and women are more or less educated similarly.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with education in Egypt is the quality of education. So people go to school, but they end up not knowing how to read and write properly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started Maktabti.
Right, but why did you choose females in particular to focus on?
Because we believe in female empowerment. We believe that if you give the right education to girls, they would be the best mothers that they could be in 10 or 20 years. There's an Arabic saying that says that if you educate a woman, then you've educated a whole generation. Mm-hmm. So educating women is as important as educating men. And starting at an early age gives the girls much more opportunities when they grow up.
Mm-hmm. So you're focusing mainly on girls, but do you allow boys to attend, or it's totally refused? I mean,
our project Maktabti is based in an orphanage for girls. Orphanages are usually
so you're focused on girls, not on. Okay. What age group are you working with?
We work with primary girls, mostly with third graders. Mm-hmm. So they have between 7 and 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And we also do activities for younger and older girls, but mostly in the girls in their primary years.
Mm-hmm. And how did you select, the people the girls you're going to work with?
Part of the work that we do is to do Orphans Day. So for several years we've been going to the same orphanage, doing Orphans Day every now and then. So we know the girls. We've played with them before, we've worked with them. So what started the project actually was that we felt that the girls like to read and they like storytelling. So when we go there and tell them some stories, they would enjoy it a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's why we decided to build a library in the orphanage.
And where does the funding come from? You built a library inside this orphanage,
no,
right?
No, we didn't yet. Our aim was to build a library, but then we went to the orphanage to read with the girls and discovered that they can't really read, even though they're we tried with the girls in first, second, and third primary, and none of them could read properly. So we decided to conduct reading sessions for the girls every single weekend. So we've been doing that for 5 weeks now.
And do you find progress with the girls?
A lot.
Yeah.
a lot. Like some of them couldn't read a sentence, now they could read whole books.
And they started getting interested in reading in itself.
Yeah,
as a
now
hobby
they enjoy reading a lot. Like they are really excited when we go, and like sometimes we left the book over there. We didn't build the library yet because that needs funding, so we're still working on it. But we left the books in the orphanage, and sometimes we'd come back the next week and they tell us that they've read several books and that they exchanged books together. So the girls now enjoy reading and find the importance of it.
Okay. Would you give me an example of one of the sessions? What are the main points you're focusing on? How do you try to make these girls like what they're doing, like reading?
The idea started with reading sessions, and then we decided to make it a bit more interesting. So we decided to dedicate a theme every month, and we started with health, for instance. So on the very first day, we went there, we started reading with the girls, and then we taught them about the different parts of the body. The weekend after, we got an NGO that works on children's health education, and they played with them, and they showed them a video about how to take care of their health. We had a first aid session where we did some sing-along jingles, and we taught the girls some stuff about first aid through the songs that we've created. So
was it easy to find interesting educational material?
Yeah, definitely. It's quite easy because all you need is to think about something creative or something that would make the girls be interested in what you're doing. We had different, like following health, we had geography where we taught them about the different governorates in Egypt. We also had
I think you need the very colorful, because you're starting with a younger age group, you need very colorful material with pictures and photos for kids to look at. And
exactly. They don't like books that have a lot of text. They enjoy reading books that are full of colors. They enjoy coloring, and they enjoy doing things with their own hands. Today, for instance, we had one of our sessions, and we've taught the girls how to do telephones out of plastic cups, and they enjoyed it a lot.
So you're also trying to teach them some sort of artwork?
Yeah. And like we teach them art, and we teach them like we do different art sessions. Like for instance, we taught them about how to mix primary colors to get the secondary colors. But we also teach them some more life skills and some more general knowledge, maybe.
General knowledge, right.
So we gave them some science sessions for discussing the difference between like how sound would
affect anything, or
yeah, like how sound moves, and like how putting some
the effect of
together would give you an explosion. Or
right. I would like also to know about the volunteers working with you. How do you select them? How do you divide the work among you?
As I said, that's part of a volunteering club. So we have members. We usually select, like we have some selection criteria for the members. We ask them to participate in the projects that we do. And
what's the selection criteria?
It's basically to participate in a project, to attend our meetings, because we have weekly meetings in which we plan all of our projects, and to give us a presentation or to teach us something that maybe we don't know. So to become a member, the volunteers need to give a presentation, attend projects, and attend meetings, and show that they're really interested to serve their community and to make a difference.
Right, we'll just go for a short break, and we'll be back to know more details. Welcome back, and once again we would like to talk about Maktabti, which is a volunteer project that aims at educating young girls how to read. Right. Hoda, would you tell me, do you give certain courses to the volunteers working with you, or you give them any details about their how to do it?
We usually plan the sessions together. So before every month we start by choosing a theme, and then before every session we would have a meeting where we decide what we want to do in the session, what are the skills or like the information that we want to give to the girls. And even before starting the session, for the new volunteers, we give them like a sort of briefing on what we do, how we do stuff. Like we start by reading a book, and then sometimes we do some writing or dictation, and then we do the activities. So we brief the members. We don't give them training, but like you learn by experience after a while.
Right. Would you tell me about the feedback, I mean the reaction of the girls themselves, how psychologically they were affected? They felt that they are important, they felt that they're getting special care.
Yeah, since we go to an orphanage, then the girls really care about getting attention. And as I told you, we work with one class, which are third graders. So every time we go, the other girls would like ask us if we're going to pick them or not, or like if we will be doing the session with them or not. So the girls are always excited to work with us, and they are very welcoming when we go. So,
did you have any obstacles in implementing your project? I mean, did you face any obstacles?
No, not at all, because I'm also a member of the organization that has the orphanage, or that is running the orphanage. So like as part of the orphanage management, like the orphanage management were actually encouraging us to do the project. And with the execution of the project, it was quite easy because we plan everything and then we go there and do it.
And concerning the volunteers, we were talking about volunteers earlier. When you select them, you said you put a certain criteria, but who is the one who conduct the interviews for them, and who is the one who distribute the work?
We have criteria for the people who join the club, so like for them to become members. But we have also we have different volunteers who just join for the sessions. We have people who would call us, find our number on Facebook and call us to join just in the reading session. So we don't really do interviews. It's open to everyone. Anyone who wants to volunteer can join us. And we're trying to make it easy for people to volunteer and to do community service work. So anyone who's willing to give a couple of hours in his or her weekend and to teach young girls are more than welcome to join us.
How do you see the development of such a project? What's the expected time frame for it?
We want to continue with the project because now the girls can read much better, can write better, and they have more information, but and more knowledge. But at the end, it doesn't have a timeline because it's endless. We want to continue with the other girls at the orphanage, and if everyone at the orphanage can read perfectly and has had a better education, then maybe we can move to a different orphanage and give them the same experience. So,
right. What are the projects that you are planning to work on in the future?
We plan to go on do the library. So we want to raise funds to build the library at the orphanage and to also work with the girls. And since now Ramadan is coming, then we're planning different projects for Ramadan. And we thought of working on autism next year because this year we've had a huge awareness campaign about autism, and we thought of working on raising more awareness about autism and maybe providing an educational space for children with autism.
So what other projects than autism?
We'll continue the projects that we did this year. For instance, we have Maktabti, we have also different awareness campaigns such as breast cancer awareness, where we go to rural areas or poor areas in Cairo and give awareness sessions to women about breast cancer. We have we have a solar energy project where we install solar panels in a village in the desert. We also what else do we work on?
So how important is it, do you think, to for youth to work on such volunteer work? How important is it for them and for the country, of course?
It's quite important for the country because the government can't do everything, especially now. So, and the country needs a lot. We need to work on education, on traffic ethics, and that's one of the things we want to do actually. We need to work on health, everything. So the more people volunteer, the better we can serve this country, and the better this country will be in 5 or 10 years. Without volunteering, I personally believe that the country won't move on much. So people need to give 100% at their work and then find some time to serve others and to give back to their community, because we've been blessed by very good education. We have work, and
how does volunteer work affect you as a person?
First of all, it teaches you a lot. You learn how to plan a project, how to think of every single step, the material you need, how the process would work, how to fundraise for it, and then even reflect on the project so that when you do it the next year you have better results. So that's part of it. You learn a lot. You learn organization skills, you learn communication skills, because you need to communicate with your team members. And apart from what you learn personally, you get you get to see a different Egypt, I guess, or you get to go out of your bubble and see people who live in different different living conditions.
So there is a sort of a reward to the volunteer. Yeah, I mean, in volunteer work.
Yeah, there's definitely a reward, and part of it gives you self-satisfaction, because when you know that you're not living just on your own in this planet, when you know that someone's life is better just because of you, it would make you feel better at the end. It really does affect the person's self-esteem and motivation.
And how can you teach the youth to share in volunteer work and participate?
I think all people need to do is just start. So decide that today you want to do something for someone else. It might be as easy as teaching your maybe driver how to read, or just. Do
you think an awareness campaign can help in teaching youth how to participate in social work, the importance of participating in social work?
We try to do actually some sessions in which we invite friends to tell them more about what we do, so that they join, and awareness campaigns about what could be done, or how people can join and volunteer work would be important. I think also that making NGOs or volunteer organizations more accessible would make it easy for people to reach out to those NGOs and to work with them.
Right. So do you think that one day most of the work for orphanages will be done by the youth and by volunteers?
I do hope so. The government needs to work on it.
How can the government work on this? I mean, what's the expected role of the government in this?
Some of the orphanages are in very bad conditions. The infrastructure, they have so many children in one place. Some of them need restructuring. So the government needs to spend, to have more social spending, but apart from that, to give those.
Did you get any help from the government so far?
We didn't try to reach for the government, but no, we've been working on our own, because at the end we're only a group of youth. Our ages range from 21 to 28, so we're just working on the project on our own.
And what do you think is the expected role from the media? How can the media participate?
Well, promoting our projects just like what we're doing now would be great, because when people know about what's going on, then maybe they would think of joining. And the media can also promote the idea of volunteerism and community service in the country.
Right, Huda Al-Imbabi, Maktabti Project Officer, thank you so much for your input.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
With this, we wrap up this edition of Today's Youth. Many thanks for watching.